Hello everybody, welcome to the show. My name is Karen, as you all know. I'm running for president in the 2024 election. I hope you vote for me. I am an independent. All you have to do is write me in, and I'll be the president. People from all over the country recognize me. How, I don't know, but there's a man doing a show. He's at the ceiling doing his show. He turns and looks down at me and he salutes me. I go to Neil Diamond's performance, his show, and at Broadway musical, and the lead singer looked at me and pointed at me and saluted me. How do they know me? I'm up on the mezzanine, and yet they picked me out and were able to recognize me. How? I'll tell you how. I produced 400 shows since 2015, total of 400. My shows are watched by many, and they've been watching them for at least the last 4 years. I've done 400 shows, and those shows were rectifying problems. I could talk about anything, especially what's going on in the environment at this time. Right now we have wars going on, we have homelessness, we have the border at Texas and New Mexico and all the Arizona. How about the illegal immigrants? Miss Haley, how are you going to resolve these issues? You talk about your voice. How are you going to resolve issues? How are you going to help the poor? What are you going to do about the government shutdown? How about a war, a civil war, a war in our country against faiths, religious faiths, just like with the Hamas, the Jewish people, Palestinians? That war is a war about all faiths. They can't live with each other. And then we have influx of people in a faith that they're going to try to take over our country. And they have done that in other countries. I've talked to other leaders of other countries, and they told me what happened in their country. And then I witnessed it when they were invited to come to the White House. And I saw them dressed up just like a certain faith. And I'm going to make sure they do not take over the country. Think about it. I don't mean to scare you, but think about the different faiths in our country. Freedom of speech. How free is that? I have a friend her name is June. She's homeless. Her family won't take her in. They tried to help her. She doesn't have a job. She has a so-so job, just bringing in money enough to pay for her food and gas. And with her friends, she's only there until 2 more weeks, week and a half, 2 weeks. February 1st, she's got to go back to the shelter. And she's been living in and out of the shelter for the past 3 months, 2 to 3 months. And she had to sleep on the floor in the shelter. There were no beds. That's how many people are homeless. They're just letting the people come in out of the cold. They got to go in at 9 o'clock at night, and then they have to leave 7:30 in the morning. Correction, I stand corrected. 6:30 in the morning, and they have to leave the building. Where do they go? Especially the ones who don't have a car. What do? They have no money for food, and if they have a car, they have no money for gas. She is homeless, and when it comes to March 1st, she won't even be able to go to the shelter. Do you hear me, Haley, Miss Haley? Do you listen to the people? Who are you standing up for? The rich and famous? At least the rich. How are you going to solve this problem? No one talks about it. No one says anything. What about those people in California, all those fires and those houses burned down? What happened to those people? Are they too homeless? How truth is our government to our people? I will be truth. I will hear your voice, and I will answer all your questions, concerns. I will answer your words. I will answer your concerns. How about the border, Miss Nikki Haley? What about the border? What are you going to do about the border? Donald Trump tried a war. People in America didn't like that. They did obstacles in the middle of the river so they couldn't cross the river onto American land. I know what to do for those people. I know exactly. You know who does not like the idea that I would put forward? Is the rich people. Because they're not making any money off the immigrants. They have to pay money to support them. But I know a way to support them when they earn their own money and they provide for America. That's what I'll do for the homeless, and that's what I'll do for the people who are who are immigrants. Nikki, what are you going to do about the illegal immigrants? Are you really going to stand there and say, if you you're not a legal citizen, you have to leave the country? Remember when Donald Trump was in president? He was taking parents away from their children because they are illegal citizens. But their children were born in America, they have citizenship. I do not believe in separating families. You know what I would do? This is what I would do. I will make them become citizens of the United States, especially if they have jobs and they're supporting their own families and their independence. That's what I would do. Tell me, Miss Haley, what will you do about the illegal immigrants? How about the border? They say there's thousands coming in. Is that real? Is that truth? Or are we creating a problem that doesn't exist just to show the people how bad it is for these illegal immigrants coming into our country? They're not necessarily coming from Mexico. They're going to Nicaragua and other countries that are in the south, not just from Mexico. If they're leaving their home, there must be something seriously wrong and that causes them to walk 1,000 miles or so to America. We can't turn them around. Otherwise, as President Biden, he brought in people of other faiths. And they're in high level in our country. They're in our government. And they make decisions. There's so many of them. They make decisions that meets their own peoples, their own faiths, for them, they themselves. Beware, people, beware. Miss Haley, do you know how to help the poor? The ones that barely have food on their plate when they go to eat. And if they do have food, it's old. It's bad. I know. I experienced it. And my friend who's homeless experienced it as well. The terrible food they put together for them to eat. Terrible. Terrible what us Americans are doing to other Americans. They treat outsiders a lot better than our own Americans. I am here for you. All Americans. I am your voice. I will answer your voice. I have the same voice as you. We will rectify these problems and all people will live comfortably together. We're going through a new phase of living and we're transitioning. We have to have these negative events happen to us to create change. I want to mention one more time about faith. Remember, the war at the Gaza it is against one another because of their faith. But our government won't say that. We have another war. Russia, Ukraine. Tell me, Miss Haley, how are you going to rectify that problem? The war in Ukraine and Russia. What is the truth? What is going on? Is Russia outdoing the Ukraine people? Our news media. Who's keeping them from saying what's actually happening? Who is it? I bet you it's a rich Republican. Because they want to have that happen. They want that to happen. They're not going to stop it. They're there for themselves. And they want to suppress the poor. They want to suppress the people who have no money, live less than, they live below poverty level. I will help you. I have been helping you. I have been reporting my ideas to President Biden how to help the poor people, how to get money to them. He did stimulus for the people. He did good for us. But he's an 80-year-old man. Can he really, really live much longer before he lives with illnesses and can't think clearly to make proper decisions? And when he cannot work anymore, he crosses over. His vice president takes over. And what do you think of Miss Harris? What are your thoughts about her? She may look like a president, but can she lead? Can she lead us into the future and resolve all these issues? No, because she's got a certain faith she has to answer to. I have nobody to answer to. Like you, Miss Haley. You have all these rich Republicans giving you money for your campaign. Guess what? You're going to answer their call. You have to do what they said because, hey, I gave you money so that you become a president. Now you got to do for me. Payback time. Do you know that, Haley? Do you know that, Miss Haley? Payback time. That's the same thing that happened to Donald Trump. He gets in there, doesn't tell anybody in the government, in America, what he's planned to do. He just automatically started putting up a big wall. We don't do that. That's not American way. In Texas, people, rich people, I am not here to make you richer. I am here to make the people live a better life. I am here to make that person feel good about themselves and not less than because they're poor. I'm going to make sure each and every person feels good about themselves and just flourish in America. And I don't think that's what I have feelings for the way President Trump would do. He doesn't know what it's like to be poor and have nothing. Tell me, Nikki Haley, how are you going to prevent a government shutdown? Every year, every couple of years, they threaten this. Is this truth? Do you know whether or not there's a need for a government shutdown? Or do they just want a couple of weeks off from work to go home and be their family? Because they don't want to work. They don't want to be in there. Did you see the room where they had a big meeting? I think it was the senators. It was total chaos. It was with Hunter Biden. They were fighting amongst each other, yelling. They were doing pornographic pictures of Hunter Biden. This is the Republican Party. They think they are above the rest of us. They know more than us. They can do more to us. They think they can just run the country because they gave money to the president to do as they want. So, Nikki Haley, does that make you a puppet? You say you're going to do for this person doesn't do that for that person. Come on, bring it on, she says. Well, I'm going to bring it on. I am going to make poor people live, I'm talking about poor and below poverty. We are going to bring them up so that they could receive what they need to receive. with the government. Miss Haley, beware. I am the spokesperson for the poor. I'm a spokesperson for the mentally ill, mental health conditions. I am their word. I am their voice. And it will be heard. And it will be acted on to make them more comfortable. I know what's going on in this country. But if you want to prevent a government shutdown, the money, they still get paid, even though they're not at work. Let's take their money that they would receive during the shutdown and give it to charities. I want to know, you talk about drugs coming across the border. What about, all we hear it is in the South. What about the East Coast or the West Coast coming in that way with the drugs? They're going to Maine, New Hampshire, and other countries, other states. And then the American white people and American black people, all colors, are starting to be addicted to drugs. What are you going to do about that? You don't hear anything about that. That's how they're bringing most of the drugs into this country, is through the East Coast. Because there's no one there, there's no one to protect our border from the ocean, keeping these, I've got to set it down, keeping these people from bringing in drugs. And you know what else I do? I'm going to set up buildings throughout the country where people who are addicted with drugs can go to and get their fix, get the drugs, and be watched over during the high until we could come up with a better idea to take away the addiction feeling that they have. I want more, I want more, I want more. We're going to help those people. We're going to work hard to get them off of drugs. How come you don't hear the government or anybody else speak of this? Because they don't know how to rectify the problem. Well, that's all day. My name's Karen Weinstein. I'm an independent, Karen Crow Weinstein. Put my name on the ballot. I am independent. I will help. Remember, rich people make up what, 10% of the population in America? Nikki Haley, the other 90% will be with me, because I'm going to make their lives 100% better. And the Republicans don't want that to happen. Nikki, I think you're living on a dream, thinking you this person, you're everywhere. What are you going to do for the American people? People, I learned to recognize me out there. Look for the white hat. That's me, Karen Crow Weinstein. Going to go to president, to become a president, to answer your cries for help. I am a leader, and I will lead you to prosperity, goodness, health, and any turmoils we may have in our country. I can get you past turmoils, and I will help you to get all what you deserve, all that you need and deserve. I am here. I hear your voice. I will answer your concerns. I will help you, all of you. I am a leader for all, for all. Thank you. Be good. Do good. Stay good. Vote for Karen Crow Weinstein. Write your name on the ballot, and I will do wonders for you and all of America. Thank you.